Hello, my darlings. Madam Raven here with a short video discussing things of a more business nature. I don't know if you're familiar with what's been going on at YouTube, but so many of your favorite narrators have been demonetized. YouTube keeps changing what's allowed, and they don't like us very well. A long time ago, possibly even before the beginning of mankind, I would say shortly after the advent of language, storytelling and storytellers were very, very important. All through the ages, stories have warned what's dangerous, what's expected, and what it means to be human. Down through the ages, stories of creatures in the night and things that snatch you at the side of the water have been told to keep us safe. And it builds our culture. It started with oral tradition. It went to the written word, just in a short, tiny span of time, as far as human history goes, the radio, TV, and movies, and now the internet. Of course, oral traditions are still popular. We all have heard the urban legends through the years, and they have a purpose. They warn us. They are suspicious of things. And I think that goes right up into today's creepypastas and no-sleeps. If you want to know what scares the modern person, someone in 2018, where do you look to find that out? It's very simple. You go to Reddit, you click on no sleep, and you look for the stories that have the most upvotes. I think it's a very important anthropological tool. Jan Brunwald wrote numerous books back in the 90s on urban legends. And they mean something to us deep in our psyche. And I think creepypastas and no-sleeps are simply an extension of that. If you look at the creepypastas, you look at Jeff the Killer. Who is he? He's a kid that lives in a neighborhood with parents to start out with, who kind of goes off the rails. He's Klebold and Harris. He's the fear of someone we know losing it completely and becoming a killer. A Slender Man. He's the fear of kidnapping we've seen so often, of children just disappearing. In the cities or in the woods at the playground, he's everywhere. It kind of has a little bit with the being in the woods, of the nature part of that. And his suit brings him into the more human realm. We all know if we click the wrong link, our whole future can be turned upside down. And hence you get Smile Dog creepypasta. We all remember strange things from our childhood and what we'd seen, especially those around my age. And for that you get Candle Cove. It's all linked into our fears. They're also the extension of the type of writing groups that H.P. Lovecraft was involved in, and Tolkien and Lewis was involved in England. It's a place for writers, these inventors, to go and work with each other and see, throw their ideas up on the wall and see what sticks. Literally, only the wall is, the subreddit. I don't know why something like this, something this important, is so hated and looked down on so much more than some frat guy who laughs at suicides in a forest, or the gamers. I don't have anything against gamers. I watch them. I watch Jacksepticeye. I watch Markiplier. But I don't know why they are more important to YouTube than someone telling a story that affects a person. It seems they don't see what we do as creative because we use stock music, stock footage, and it's not our stories, is basically the argument they have at the moment. You know, I really don't go for the gore and the titillation in mine. Mine are a lot more subtle, and I don't know. Maybe I will get monetized, but I highly, highly doubt that at this point. We are the unwanted on YouTube. As such, many of us have Patreon. And yes, I've started one. I don't expect much, and I understand totally that it's hard for everyone. But I would ask you all to consider, if you have a little extra, and you think about the narrators who give you hours and hours of entertainment. It takes about 3 to 4 times to get a video ready as it ends up being long. So if somebody puts out an hour video, that's 3 to 4 hours. If you'd like to join my Patreon, I will come up with some great surprises for you. And I'm open for suggestions. But I would almost ask that if you are following someone who got demonetized, be sure and join their Patreon if you can, because a lot of these guys have been doing this as a living for a long time. And I think a lot more are going to get demonetized. Each different story is a performance of sorts. It's almost a dramatization. Are we simply reading along, or do we act it out? You know, in that sense, we are just actors trying to make a go of things. And I will put a link below for my Patreon if you feel like joining. If you cannot, I totally understand. I'm in that same boat myself. I'm struggling. I live in America, and I have a lot of medical bills that I can't pay for my family. Gee, surprise there. We're a mess. That's another story. Won't go there. But support those on Patreon that you do get the most joy out of, the ones that help you out on the bad day. Do what you can for them. If you can't, I'm sure they understand as well. We're all just kind of thrown out in the cold at the moment, but that's my little spiel, my darlings. And you can tell I'm awful at asking for money. But it's there. It is what it is. And I thank you for your support, not on Patreon, but just coming to listen to me. That just means so much. And I would really like to see my community grow, even though there's no goal of monetization now. I think YouTube's painted themselves into a corner. You could ask every episode, every movie or a soliloquy of Hamlet on the internet to be pulled down from monetization, because you can find Shakespeare, you can find any play they care to put up, and the operas and whatever else. They're all found on the internet, so yeah, they fall under that rule too. So I don't know. I don't know why they did this. I mean, they make money when we make money, but other than they just don't like the storytellers. The bards and the performers are thrown out as riffraff. What can you do? Oh well. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, my darlings. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.